Oh no! We got rejected by the gatekeepers of the Jeremy DeWitt community. Does it prove everything related to Jeremy is just a pain in the ass? Or are we just bad people? Chille DeCastro endorses Donald Trump, with a catch. Craig Hendry says he beat contempt charges. Charlie the dog might be dying. Chille DeCastro knocked his teeth out again, and more excuses not to go to his deposition today. Plus, DeCastro loves Too Apree again? All this and more on our latest edition of Auditing Insanity. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast brought to you by ReallyCoolNews. I'm Jim, the most hated man in Margaritaville, Finch, and I'll be your host tonight for whining and complaining, new news about Jeremy DeWitt, Jose DeCastro, Donald Trump, and Craig Hendry. New York City? Wait, what? Well, we're ready to share our soul with you tonight, or something resembling it, that we found behind a Family Dollar one night back in the 1990s. We're not sure if it's a soul or if it's a little person who has been stealing our candy since Clinton was president the first time. New York City! But anyway, folks, we're ready. We're sinners, we're winners, and we're chicken dinners tonight, as we ask you to focus on GoFundMe. We win! Everybody loses! Again! It was more of the same on Tuesday with our own ongoing expenses campaign taking the day with a $60 take from 2 donations, including $10 from our mysterious benefactor who shall forever remain nameless as she or he torments us from parts unknown. That's it, a $0 take for everybody else. No movement in the market, including from Jose Chille DeCastro, who has yet to announce any sort of GoFundMe in support of his dog, Charlie, who may lose his spleen if DeCastro is truthful about the possible surgery his dog is facing. He did, however, apparently donate to the nearly defunct Too Apree GoFundMe, which will be added to our list tomorrow, as a $25 anonymous donation came in about the same time as DeCastro said he was donating during his live stream. Don't get too excited about that addition, though. From initial review, Too Apree's GoFundMe wasn't exactly a hive of activity for quite some time. It was put up to help him with bond after his first Butterfly Boy video went up and he faced actual jail time. Everything he has done since, except for the arrest in July, was part of a bit or planned in advance to avoid actual arrest. He tests the limits, much like in his job interview videos from before his Too Apree character, but knows enough to cut things off before getting arrested. DeCastro spent 90 minutes of his 4-hour live stream last night determining if Apree was just an actor or if he was a serious auditor. After harshly critiquing Apree's real-life encounter with police, he determined that Apree was a little of both, but could come a long way if he embraced DeCastro's cop card and trifold products. The YouTuber ignored one of Apree's most recent videos, featuring the king of auditing, Sean Paul Long Island Audit Riaz, and said that he would continue to obsessively watch Apree's videos in the future. On that note, if you'd like to conspire to sacrifice our spleen to the unholy keeper of the dark old pants, or to force me to keep writing this column each day, we do have a GoFundMe of our own. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. Craig Hendry claims victory over contempt charges. YouTuber Craig Hendry announced his surprise victory over the prosecution in his contempt of court case for allegedly participating in recording in a courthouse in Greene County, Indiana. Hendry announced his victory on a produced video released to his channel on Monday, in which he debuted his new set, consisting of a small brown table with an overlarge microphone and laptop computer in front of a green screen with a generic blue news background. The YouTuber wore an oversized suit that matched his dated haircut and porn stash, in a look that has been described by some as resembling that of former porn star and current offender Ron Jeremy in photos taken in the late 1980s. Hendry's contempt charges stem from his playing of an audio tape that he claimed was secretly recorded by an unrelated individual of his last pretrial hearing over charges of obstruction of a police officer and approaching within 25 feet of a peace officer after receiving instructions to back away. After playing the recording multiple times on his YouTube channel, the prosecutor in the case filed for a contempt hearing against Hendry as he allegedly violated the rules of the court by airing the illegally made recording. Hendry claimed that he was able to force the judge in the case to recuse herself from the contempt hearing, as she had ex parte communication with the prosecution about Hendry outside of Hendry's presence. With the judge's recusal, she ordered Hendry and the prosecution to find a new judge and a new venue in a week's time. Upon discussion, Hendry claimed that the prosecutor was willing to drop the contempt charges if Hendry simply acknowledged that he could not record in the courtroom. The charges were dismissed, and Hendry claims that it is his constitutional right to record in the courtroom, despite local rules prohibiting it. He said he could not be bothered to know local rules prohibiting recording, and unless he was told in the courtroom, he could freely record in the courtroom due to his First Amendment rights. Hendry is still facing the charges of obstruction of a police officer and approaching within 25 feet of a peace officer after receiving instruction to back away. He recently filed indigent status with the court in the ongoing case. DeCastro endorses Trump with a catch. Jose Chille DeCastro surprised his fans Tuesday night by endorsing former President Donald Trump with a list of conditions should his favorite, independent candidate Robert Kennedy Jr., drop out of the presidential race and endorse the former president. DeCastro said that he fully supported Robert Kennedy Jr. at this time, but if the rumors were true and Kennedy was dropping out of the presidential race, he would back Donald Trump. He said that he felt that Vice President Harris would not bring about enough of an authoritarian regime to spark the revolution he needed in order for people to rise up and ultimately overthrow the police. In the mind-boggling statement, as he is on record as hating Trump, DeCastro pointed to recent statements by Trump that he thought it should be illegal to question Supreme Court rulings and promises to bring more power to police as the defining point in his possible backing of the former president. DeCastro made it clear that he was not endorsing any of Trump's ideas or policies. However, he was only voting for Trump on the idea that Trump would make things so bad, based on his previous time in office, that DeCastro would be ready to assume a leadership position in the coming revolution against police. The YouTuber has expounded many times on his belief that Americans would soon revolt against the police and that a civil war would break out to take back freedoms from the police state. While he made it clear that he would not fight in a revolution, he would await the end of the fighting in a foreign country, only to return to lead after the fighting was over, as he was apparently too important to the future of humanity to risk his life for the cause. On the same live stream, DeCastro also announced that he had broken his front teeth again and complained loudly that it would be another week before he could get them fixed. DeCastro had been wearing a prosthetic bridge to cover two teeth that were broken years ago. Sometime in jail, he broke a tooth on the opposite side of the flipper, which was not hidden by the prosthetic. DeCastro again didn't detail how he broke the recently fixed tooth, but described being in discomfort as he would have to wait for over a week for a repair. Also on the live stream, DeCastro announced that his dog Charlie was near death due to an issue with his spleen. The YouTuber explained that he didn't stream on Monday as he had been at the vet all day with the animal and had been emotionally distraught as the dog may need his spleen removed. While DeCastro said that Charlie could live without his spleen, he was uncertain if the animal would survive the operation due to his extreme age of 11 years. DeCastro has yet to start a GoFundMe to help with Charlie's treatment. It is uncertain how either development will impact today's scheduled deposition of DeCastro for his lawsuit against Kate Peter, Team Skeptic, Daniel Clement, and Blue Bacon. He had previously been sanctioned for skipping a deposition, and it's unclear how either potential emergency may impact his testimony. This is a developing news story. An open letter to the Jeremy DeWitt community. Good afternoon and welcome to the Auditing Insanity Newscast, brought to you by Really Cool News. Really Cool News has been around as a daily publication since 2022 on a website that's been around since 2001. Our site has had a lot of themes over the past 23 years and probably will have a lot of themes in the next 23 years. But right now we provide daily recaps and summaries of news stories for our readers who would like to have a digest format, as they may not have time to research or sit down and watch extended videos. The motto around here is "we watch it so you don't have to." That's what draws our readers to the website, and more recently, that's what draws our readers to the audio versions of our news stories on YouTube. Recently, we were asked by a reader to expand our coverage into the wacky world of Jeremy DeWitt. With barely any mainstream news coverage and a handful of court documents we can get our hands on, the recaps are usually a collection of what the reporters on his various trials are saying each day. In our articles, we actively credit that reporting to where we've gotten it from. We provide linkbacks to the sources where possible. We make the documents open to anyone who wants them on the website, and we openly encourage our fans to go to the source for more information, as we're just a digest or 2 to 3 minute recap audio of the stories. We're absolutely not here to make waves, claim things we're not, or belittle or degrade your community. While there is some overlap between our established community and yours, and the YouTube algorithm seems to put us out there quite a bit these days, we cannot compete or impact the number of viewers that you're getting or be a threat to the businesses you've established on your YouTube channels devoted to Jeremy DeWitt. We've heard from you. Not in the way that we'd like to as a channel that is nearly fully transparent, providing quite a few ways to contact us past just funny comments on our YouTube videos. If you're absolutely upset about the recaps, we have email, jamescanine@gmail.com. We're available on Discord for a quick voice or video chat. We're here to work things through with you to find some sort of resolution. But gatekeeping? Really? Screaming, "Don't trust the news unless I give it to you"? Finding a threat and recaps that do maybe 60 total views before they're shuffled off into the YouTube ether? Getting upset at the fact that there's someone else out there trying to get your reporting in front of folks who maybe will never see what you're doing, and they may just become a customer of your monetized site? Really? Not directly addressing your anger with a person who is apparently pissing you off, letting it grow inside of you until you lash out over something that could really have been worked out in a 20-second phone chat? That's some serious Jeremy DeWitt activity there. For our readers and our listeners, we're taking Jeremy DeWitt out of the rotation until such a time as he gets convicted or does something meaningful. Please like and subscribe to the channels you're going to like and subscribe to. Let their gates remain closed, and the keepers stand to protect their assets. Ours will forever remain open. I mean, in the end, it's Jeremy freaking DeWitt, proving once again he's not worth the headache. How about dem tomatoes? Speaking of tomatoes, since we're no longer watching every second of everything that Jose Chille DeCastro does on the internet, oh thank God for that, we'll point out the masochist that is Tomatoes, who does transcripts and reports on DeCastro's ongoing live streams. You can find his work over in his own forum on Kate Peter's Masshole Discord, or in the Chille DeCastro fan club area. He does wonderful work, and he's worth checking out for all your Chille DeCastro needs. On that note, we're out of here. Remember, tomorrow night is Verbo's Going Away special edition of the Watch Party. Stop on by to hear our special cries as we're about to become lost, lonely, and partnerless for the time being. Our failure is assured, so come back tomorrow and see me cry.